You've heard us talk about them. They're in, and they're on the website.
Absolutely. Our brand new America's Diesel podcast, branded bills, badass, flex fit, performance material, sweat stain resistant. It literally feels like it cools your head.
I don't know how that's possible, but somehow it is. Yeah, you can rock it. You know, I'm more of a flat bill kind of guy. You can do that. You can curve it. For all you taco holder guys, you can even throw that in there.
Yeah.
And then snap back with a little bit of the flex fit.
Yeah.
Big head approved, small head approved.
And it's extremely comfortable. I almost guarantee, I say almost guarantee. No, I guarantee this is the most comfortable hat you will ever wear. And the logo, rubber. Awesome. Yeah. Came out great.
Super detailed rubber on there, so it's never going to fade on you. If you want to get one of these in your hands, they are $50, shipped to the lower 48, plus tax, if applicable in your state. Just go on the dieselpowerproducts.com, search hat, look for the fantastic Jam and Eagle logo, pick yourself up some before they're out of stock.
Yeah.
You're listening to America's Diesel Podcast.
We should just put like a little... We should drill a hole and put a 22 blank in there with a little primer.
What, bam! That'd be a clapper.
That'd be a clapper.
Could you imagine everybody that would freak out?
It would probably blow that thing apart.
Yeah.
It would
or
blow
his
that
hand
thing
off,
apart.
or whatever.
Well, it's blank, you know.
It'll be, what's his name?
Yeah, Banana Man.
Yeah, Banana Man. Any update on his hand?
No.
What hand?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Shaka, bro. If you don't know what we're talking about on Instagram, you just search the hashtag Banana Man. And if you see someone playing with fireworks, you're at the right spot. But we're going to start this episode off with one of the funniest things we've seen on Instagram lately. You don't need to necessarily see it, but if you hear it, it works. Here we go.
Knox County Police Department. You was the one that come up here and brought my son in a squad car. Talking some mess about how he took his go-kart on the highway and didn't have no helmet on. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm about red-iced over it. Sir, I'm not familiar with the incident. I'm just the dispatcher. Some deputy looked like his balls ain't dropped. Said Ernie Michael didn't have no helmet. I said, I told him to. I said, son, these people laid down their lives in this country so you wouldn't have to wear no helmet. Well, if he's on the interstate in a go-kart, we will pull him over. Good luck. He don't stop for no one, and his Honda run like a scalded dog. Best thing for you to do right now is get off this phone and sober up. This line's being recorded. I tell you what, you are lucky I've been drinking. Being sober loosens my tongue.
My favorite. Good luck.
Good luck. This week's podcast episode is brought to you by Fuel Bomb Diesel Additive, an additive designed for diesel enthusiasts, made by diesel enthusiasts. Ben, take it away.
Hell yeah, dude. So this is our in-house Fuel Bomb fuel additive for your diesel truck. Our biggest thing here is making sure that you can pretty much always have diesel additive on you all the time. You've got a lot of other additives out on the market that they have, anti-gel in there all the time. They have cetane in there all the time. They end up being big and bulky bottles. Our standard everyday diesel fuel additive is 1 ounce per 32 gallons, and that's its main job is to make sure that your fuel system stays lubricated and prevents the formation of algae. And it should also help you in colder climates too.
Should definitely help you in colder climates. Along with cleaning your fuel system and maintaining it, it'll also help you bump that cetane number up for a more efficient burn of your diesel fuel. And if cetane is just what you're after, there's the Fuel Bomb Hellfire, which is our straight 8+ cetane enhancer.
Yeah, and you guys asked, and we brought them back. We did go away from the bottles that didn't have the measuring little parts in there. We brought them back for you, so now you can measure out your 1 ounce per 32 gallons for the F-Bomb or 4 ounces per 32 gallons for the Hellfire.
Both these additives are available on our website, dieselpowerproducts.com. Now let's get back to that episode.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is Ben and Tyler and Corey from America's Diesel Podcast Company from Spokane, Washington. You can find us on all the normal podcast avenues by searching America's Diesel Podcast. You can also find us on the social medias. We do go live on Instagram every Wednesday right around 4:45, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Come have a beer with the boys. Let us know how your projects are going, and you never know who might show up. Also, Tyler, reviews.
Oh, yeah. Let's keep those reviews coming in on any podcast. Wow, I'm a little... It's only been
You haven't finished your first barley juice
I know. Yet. I've only had one drink. Hold on. Reset. It's nectar of the gods.
Yeah, it's cold.
All right. So leave a review on any podcast platform, preferably Apple iTunes. I don't know. That one just seems to be the one that everybody sees and helps us out the most, apparently. Screenshot your 5-star review. Send it to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure you include a picture of your truck and an address that we sent a decal to. It looks just like the logo on our fresh new hats.
Hell yeah.
Where'd yours go?
My son officially stole it from me. I'm sure it's not the first hat he's going to steal from me, but I kind of like he's got it. He's like, Dad, that's a cool hat.
Yeah.
Is that an eagle? I'm like, yeah, it is. Will it fit? And I like put it on like 3 of them.
Yeah.
And it fit his head perfectly. I was like, well, there it goes.
Do you wear it to school?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. I'm stoked on it. Lastly, we got a couple more things. If you're a podcast listener, make sure and tell if you are talking to a sales technician, let them know you are a podcast listener. That way they can mark it down in the order. If you're placing an order online, there is a notes section. It's very small, but it is there. Just write the word podcast and go through and tally them up every couple days or so. If you placed an order and you forgot to, do not worry. Like Bobby today, Chris Yoder, got your orders in there. Just shoot me a DM on the old Instagrams or Facebook or email. Lots of ways to get a hold of me. Let me know you placed an order. I can make sure and tag it for you. And those are greatly appreciated because at the end of the day, money does make the world go round. And this podcast ain't cheap, nor is it free. We also... We are accruing these fancy gifts here, and I freaking love it. We got this one from Jake Hersher. I think that's Freight Shaking Jake. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but we got another Sleepy Joe in the bed.
Commander of Sleep.
Of Sleep to go with our other bent over Joe and Donnie J.
Oh,
Basically, all I've done is keep my promise.
Damn right.
Yeah.
And some 68 RV parts wrapped in toilet paper, as per usual.
Toilet paper holder.
It's about all they're good for. 60 RV, yeah, whatever. I know. 7.3 guy, gotta get the digs in where I can, you know. So, I want to get this podcast started with. So we have a listener, Elijah, I'm talking about you, buddy, who has purchased a lot of parts from us. So I want to personally thank him first off. But he is a 7.3 owner. And he's got a fantastic build going on. He's got like dynamite injectors. He's got a full force high pressure oil pump. He did some lines on there, a diesel site water pump, sinister charge piping, lots and lots of stuff. Those are the GTP 38R gearhead tuning. And we unfortunately got some news yesterday. He sent a ticket in, and Corey got it. What did he say on the ticket? Do you remember?
Cylinder wall was blown.
Yeah, so he toasted a cylinder wall, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But the reason he was messaging in, and that's the reason, one of the things I want to talk about, is that he found a low mileage. I'm not sure what the mileage was, but a relatively low mileage 1996 engine, and he wants to put that into his Super Duty 7.3, and I believe it's an 01 or an 02. It's definitely a Super Duty.
I think it's 01.
01, yeah. And I decided to look into it more because initially I'm always, to me, as far as I know, yes. But to double check that, I messaged Corey over at CNC Fab.
Yeah.
Just because me and him talk on a fairly regular basis, just to like one of those concur things. Like, hey man, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but if I say yes to this and it's not the yes, like, I'm screwed.
I look like an idiot.
I'm like a total idiot. Yeah. So and this goes for a lot of other guys too, if you're thinking about swapping, 7.3 stuff around, and why the OBS engines are a little bit more sought after for the Super Duties. And mostly it's because of the forged connecting rods. The 94 to 97 trucks, they had the forged connecting rods, whereas pretty much the Super Duties after 01-ish started going to a powdered metal rod, which are good for about 4 1/4. You start having some rod issues. So if your goal is more than that, or if you're looking for more reliability, people will replace them with the powdered metal rods or find an older engine and put them in. And as far as the
just so everybody knows the difference between powdered and forged.
Right.
So powdered is powder that's pressed into a rod.
Yeah.
Forged starts as a piece of steel that's heated up and then manipulated to that shape of the rod. That's why they're stronger.
Exactly. Yes. So this is not to say that any of you guys that have powder metal rods, your truck is like crap, your engine's going to blow up.
It might.
There are plenty of powder metal rod trucks out there rolling around at like the 350 mark with an absolute ass ton of miles on them.
Yeah, sure.
So just keep that in mind. But if your goal or you plan on running it really, 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 really hard at 400 or above, you should definitely keep in mind that your rods probably aren't going to be too stoked.
You're playing with fire.
You're playing with fire.
Yeah.
That's true. So does the engine fit? Yes. Like, do you need to get into different mounts? No. As far as like the engine, the heads, excuse me, like we're going to talk about like the core engine, okay. Heads, valve covers, all that kind of stuff. Yes, bolts right in. Your transmission will bolt right up to it. All your accessories on the front will bolt right up to it. Where you're going to start wanting to make sure that you are, and I assume he's taking all the parts off of the power parts off of the Superduty engine, put it on the older one. But if it's like you're trying to find a whole new engine, just so you know, the plenums, he is going to have to change the plenums because it has the small 2 or 2 3/8 inch plenum on there.
Yep.
So he's going to have to go to a 3-inch plenum, which is not a big deal. He can take the plenums off his truck now and put them on there. He's fine.
Right.
Or he can upgrade. Great time to upgrade, obviously. And I assume he's taking his turbo and his up pipes and everything to mount the turbo off of the Super Duty engine, putting on the OBS one. That bolts right up. You're good to go there. I think there is a couple sensors that may be in different spots. Like when I say different spots, I don't mean like on the other side of the engine. I mean like a foot over, like just they might route the wiring a little bit differently, but that's honestly really, really easy to handle. There's not a whole lot of wiring on there, at least if you're a 7.3 guy. And I know for a fact, because one of his orders, he did have head gaskets on there, so I know you've been at least that far into the engine. If you have replaced your head gaskets on this engine, this swap is going to be absolute cake. So I'm stoked that you're able to find an engine to replace that. What are you looking up over there?
Well, are the water pumps different?
They are.
Yeah.
So
and valve cover wiring harness.
Yes and no. So valve cover, yeah. So you're gonna obviously the core of the engine. I'm talking like the hard parts, the engine.
Well, you said all the accessories would bolt on, so you're a liar.
Well, actually, no. If you look at the his accessories from his old stuff will bolt onto it.
Yeah. It'll. But yeah.
His accessories from his Super Duty will bolt on there.
Why not throw it on there?
Yeah. Tyler's being a dick.
Yes, it will. It will. Yeah. No, actually, water pump 94 to 03. Mm-hmm. We sell an Alliant, so yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Never mind. But the wiring harness is going to be different, so you're going to want to like use the valve cover gaskets, for the. But this is, I assume that you're putting your injectors in this because you have Dynamite diesel 70 horsepower injectors.
You would assume.
So I assume you're probably going to be either putting your gaskets from the old truck on there or buying new gaskets, in which case you're going to buy Super Duty gaskets. So you're good to go there. Valve covers are the same. You're good to go. I forgot where I was. My next one on there.
Sorry, I screwed you up.
Yeah, you screwed me up, Terror.
We're talking water pump. You said you were getting there.
Yes, he does actually have the diesel sight water pump with the filter on it.
Perfect.
So that one will go right over onto it, and he'll be good to go there.
Good to go.
He already has the weld-in style dipstick adapter, so he's good to go there. I mean, he's
the
pretty.
Weld-in, yeah. So
he's
oil pans.
pretty darn well set. So Elijah, shout out to you for putting all that time and energy into a 7.3. Much respect, and B for. Without trying to sound too cheesy, for spending an absolute shit ton of money with this. Like, I really appreciate that. Like call,
Let's do a little experiment real quick here.
Yeah.
Craigslist, a 7.3 engine. Let's just see. Because last time I looked at a set, sometimes I'll just go on Craigslist and just go all for sale and look at all for sale.
Yeah.
Just so I have no filters, just everything that's listed for sale. And I want to say I found a 7.3 engine. I thought I sent it to you like a while ago.
Yeah, it was like $800 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the engines, I will say, because I am still on the hunt for my truck, my Facebook is serving me a ton of ads for basically anything 7.3 or Powerstroke related, which is fine. I dig it. But I will say the 7.3 like lonely engine on Facebook, I used to be able to find them.
$300 right there.
Let's see, which one's that one? Scroll down. I think I've seen that one before. I think it's locked up.
$300.
Post. If that is actually,
you should go buy that if that's not locked up.
Shit. Engine ran when we pulled it last summer. Had a lot of blow by and smoked a lot.
How much of that can you trust?
Yeah.
Huh. $300.
$300 though.
Jesus,
It's a good core.
that's so
I mean, you
cheap.
send it out to be built. Anyway, so I mean, they are out there. Most of what I've seen on Marketplace recently is all around the $1,000 range.
Have you looked at that truck in Spirit Lake?
I have.
Of course you have.
Trust me, every single one I've looked at.
Have
right
you
now.
looked into Cummins at all?
Yes,
You have.
I have.
Fully rebuilt.
So those of you that don't know, maybe didn't hear, it's automatic transmission. I did sell the blue truck, and I'm currently still trying to sell the F450. By the time this comes out, there's a good chance it probably has not sold because it's been very slow. But if you are interested, I do have a 2004 F450 extended cab with a badass Bradford built bed on 37s. It's got like 160,000 miles on it. Never been tuned. Lots of new parts on it. Yeah.
I'm surprised it hasn't sold yet.
I think we're asking way too high for it, and
I'm gonna pat myself on the back a little bit here because I think if you were to sold it or listed
if we
it
would
when
have
I
listed it
told
when you
you,
told me, yeah, totally,
it would have already been gone.
it would have 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you the win on that one for sure. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
100. So the next thing is, I don't know if everybody just happened to hear the last couple of podcasts, but I actually got quite a bit of tech emails over the weekend, the
Did
last
you?
couple of days. Yeah. And they've all been like, first off, if you're going to send me questions, like, I appreciate that you guys are giving me lots of context. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need, I don't need a novel, but like when I get the one sentence question where I have to like pry more information out of you,
Right.
it's not as fun.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying all work has to be fun.
Well,
but
at the same time, you get a lot of emails too. So it's like you'll
Yeah.
start a conversation, then you might not email back like immediately. So then you have to like go back and read the first email to decipher the second.
But if I've got a pretty good written email, it's like, I don't know, one of those long. Like
When you send them an
half
email,
page.
make sure there's no punctuation.
Oh,
Everything's a run-on sentence.
I am a sucker for good grammar. Yeah, don't be afraid to proofread something before you send it to me. Yeah, just saying.
I legitimately try to read them in one breath. Pass out. Go back. Start over.
Sometimes when I get those, I want to read them in one breath.
Yeah.
And then only respond to what I was able to read in one breath because, like, hey man, I tried reading the rest of it, but you didn't put a period in there, so I read as far as my breath could take me.
And then I passed out.
Yeah, so the question I'm going to ask you maybe will be answered afterwards, but I couldn't talk that long because you sent me one extremely long sentence. I'm sorry.
Anyways, continue. Sorry.
But he's a younger kid. I think he's like 18, 19. Has a 7.3 with a ton of miles on him. We're talking like over 500.
Damn.
So it's got a lot.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's replaced a lot of the parts on there. I believe it has either like newer injectors or something like that. But he knows what he's getting into.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like he's like, I listen to the podcast. I know what I'm getting into. I'm not, I know it's going to nickel and dime me, but I got to try and space this stuff out. So, hey man, cheers to that. But he said he was driving, heard a somewhat loud, and everybody's scale of loud is different.
Right.
Pop, and then it just bellowed white smoke.
You.
And excuse me. Said he got it home, and he can start it. Idle's real rough, really, really bad, and white smoke. And he said that, and I actually saw his. Because I always see a bunch of 7.3 forums on Facebook and stuff like that. But I saw his question come up, and but he also said there's no oil and fuel mixing, I believe is what he said. Let me pull it up real quick here. I'm probably going to name drop him too. So if you're a listener of the podcast, congratulations. You emailed me exactly at the right time.
Yeah.
Sent. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. His name's Ben.
Was it you?
That's a tough one to remember, huh?
I started response back. Hi Ben. First off, great name. We Bens, we stick together. But yeah, I'm just going to read the email out real quick. I'm going to skip whatever needs to be skipped. But hey guys, Local Podcast purchased about 3 months ago a 99 7.3 220 on a swapped motor and 220 on a swapped trans. The body has 430 on it. Frame is good, just passed inspection. So I was wrong there, not 500. It's got 430 on it. Yesterday, I had a major breakdown on the highway. I was doing about 35 miles an hour at 800 RPM, and all of a sudden I hear a small pop, lost power, trunk dumped, white smoke. That is honestly a very good description of what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate I just started white smoke. Like, those couple extra factors there,
Yeah.
very good. Lost power, jumped white. No fluids are leaking and no oil fuel in the coolant reservoir. Today the stuck started up pretty quick. Has a very rough idle and pours white smoke. I didn't run it for more than 15 seconds. Posted my concern on a couple of different forums. Multiple people said injector cups blew. Bought the truck with a plow for $3,200, and I'm now at a loss as what to do, what direction I should move in. Don't want to throw more than $1,500 at it. I'm an 18-year-old college student. Not a whole lot of extra capital. Totally understand that. He's like, just kind of wondering what I should do. Do I part it out? Do I fix it? I wanted to use it as a plow truck for side hustle purposes. Okay, cool. So the first thing that sticks out to me is that he doesn't have any leaks. So if it is mixing fluids, it's all internal.
Yeah.
And I will say I do not have any direct experience with injector cups blowing. I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what it sounds like. I've never been around a truck that has cups that have blown. But if you do have a injector cup that has failed, you potentially have the potential scenario of mixing all three fluids that are in your head at once, and possibly pushing one to the other or dumping them into the cylinder and then out the tailpipe. That's going to be fuel, oil, and coolant. With no external leaks, I'm inclined to think probably not a head gasket. Head gasket, you probably see some.
Yeah, white smoke is kind of a thing that can throw you for a loop because it could be, although like black smoke is excessive fuel, so can white smoke.
Exactly.
So it could be an injector cup issue. I would agree with that.
So my response, part of my response to him is about the white smoke. And first thing I said is like one of the easiest things you can do right now is I know it sounds kind of weird, but with something like this, we all always skip to the worst case scenario.
Right.
Worst case itis. We all do it.
Yep.
I was like, you just hammer some of your basics out real quick, and that way you know them.
Yeah.
Because you're going to feel real dumb. We're all going to feel real dumb if we all give you this advice, and then you find out it's a boost leak.
Right.
Like, do I think he blew a boot and he's like got this tons of raw fuel dumping out? Probably not. But just do me a favor, do a boost leak test, check that out. Next, do a coolant pressure test.
Yeah.
If you've got an injector cup and you've got coolant coming out, I'm sorry. Before that is even, the white smoke we're talking about here.
Right.
Is it sulfury, burns your nose, real thick? Like you can almost taste it.
Does it smell like diesel fuel?
Does it smell like diesel fuel, or does it because then it's going to be diesel? That's different. If it's smells almost a little bit sweet. Sometimes people have said it smells like pancakes. That's going to be coolant.
Pancakes?
I've heard that, pancakes.
Really? Have you ever heard that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've always heard of it as being
I
sweet.
don't know what kind of
not about
pancakes you're going to get.
Yeah. So the after I saw the thing about pancakes, I said the same thing. I was like, "That's horseshit. It's absolute horseshit."
Because pancakes smell amazing.
I know. And
Pretty sure
then
burnt coolant does not smell amazing. Like
I shit you not. Maybe a month later, I was driving behind some old shitty
like
Chevy, and it smelled a little bit like pancakes. Like, man, it smells like pink. And I'm looking around, and I see this old fucked up Chevy. I'm like, that guy's he's got coolant coming out of the exhaust.
Is that what?
Wow.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah.
I've never smelled that.
Like,
I never
like,
thought that
he was-
burning coolant smelled like pancakes whatsoever.
Yeah, I was blown away.
I would be saying his wife in the passenger seat has got a little griddle going,
Something.
plugged it in, and is cooking pancakes.
Anyways, so that being said, if it smells, coolanty or just not like diesel fuel, definitely get a coolant pressure tester on there and try and see if you can expose where it's
Well,
just
also,
coming
your
from.
coolant will be low.
Yeah, that's a great indicator as well.
Start with that.
Start with that. It's a good visual test. If it's a fuel smell, I was like, okay. So if it's a fuel smell, the name of the game here is to. I do have experience with that as far as like an injector failing, a truck not running right on the blue OBS. I was like, what you can do. There's a lot you can do, like backyard testing, because the goal here is to narrow down at least what side of the engine it's on, to give you a place where to look at.
Yeah, because if it was an injector issue and it's dumping fuel, it could, in theory, like pre-detonate, causing the pop. or post detonate, whatever you want to. It would probably be pre because it's coming up on its compression stroke, and then the post would be all the white raw fuel getting into the cylinder after the fact. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like on the Super Duties, on the OBS trucks, you've got 2 harnesses on each side, so you can technically deactivate 2 cylinders at once. On the OBS, you've got basically one bank. You can deactivate the passenger side or the driver's side.
Right.
I was like, cool. So, first things first, if it smells like fuel, get underneath the hood, disconnect, say the passenger side, start the truck. Yes, it's going to run like shit. Okay, you're running on 4 cylinders. What you're doing here is you're trying to find which side runs worse, basically, or which one runs better, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you disconnect it and it's like it runs like shit, but there's basically no white smoke. You plug it back in, white smoke. Okay, at least you've narrowed down like the issue is more than likely on this side.
Sure.
If if it's white smoke, no matter what, then at that point it's kind of like pick your poison left or right. I don't care what you want to do.
Well, at that point, what I would probably do, like I would just pull the injectors out. Like, why not?
I mean, I agree. Why not? But like, why? I would rather try and narrow down a little bit more before you start yanking stuff out.
Like I said, it's probably an internal issue going on anyways, and those injectors are probably going to have to come out regardless of what you're fixing.
It's true.
I would skip a couple of steps and just start pulling.
Well, for me, it's more of I don't want to say like a proof of concept, but it's like especially
when you're at least narrow it down to a side.
Yeah, if you're on a budget.
Yeah.
And like I would rather, and this like goes against like some of my other like what I would recommend totally doing, but as far as like being on a strict budget, sometimes you gotta do stuff that may not always, be the direct straight line. Tyler's breaking stuff over here. Direct straight line, but like I would even consider like if you let's say you narrow it down to a side.
Yeah.
Okay. Pull the valve cover off. Now you can start unplugging injectors one by one. First off, do a visual. If one injector just looks absolutely trash compared to the other ones, that's probably a pretty good place to start. But if everything seems to be okay, next thing you do, unplug one injector, slap the valve cover back on real quick.
What about a contribution test?
You can do. Well, I'm assuming he doesn't have any tools.
Okay. Auto Ingenuity, dieselpowerproducts.com.
Yeah, Auto Ingenuity, or even honestly, just having an Edge Insight will give you some really good information on what's going on with the truck. But yeah, Auto Ingenuity would probably be even better.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming this. I'm assuming this is all. I'm trying to go like backyard test, right?
Sure.
So you've narrowed it down one side to the other. Get the valve cover off. Okay, everything seems to be okay. Unplug one injector, start the truck. And this is the same thing as with the other, like unplugging the banks. You're not trying to. It's going to run like crap, but you're trying to find which one makes the truck run the worst.
Right.
Let's say you do find the one that makes the truck run the worst. Then I 100% agree. Pull the injector. Or first off, do a really good visual on it. Like a really good visual. Look down at the push rod. Make sure the push rod's not like totally kinked or something like that. Shake the rockers. Make sure you don't have a rocker hanging off. And the reason I'm trying to like avoid pulling an injector this fast is if it's too. There's a couple things. If it is actually an injector cup, let's say this truck is sitting in his driveway and it's an injector cup and he's got to get it into a garage or something like that, he's getting towed. Like you're not running with no injector in a hole.
Right.
Yeah. So at least if you've done everything you can before you pull the injector, it's like, okay, I'm going to pull this injector. There's a good chance the cup may come with it.
Yep.
I may fuck something else up right around it. So I need to park this thing where I can work on it.
Yeah.
In my head, that's what I'd be doing. So, give a really, really good visual inspection around it. Maybe you see all of a sudden you've got a wiring harness that's like fried. All right, well, that's not going to help. Well, let's fix the wiring harness. Did the issue stop? No. Okay, well, at least we found one issue.
Yeah.
And trust me, I've trucked with this many miles. You're gonna find lots of little things. You're gonna find some O-rings. Maybe you should buy some O-rings, bro. Some O-rings, maybe some connectors. A couple O-rings.
All Ben wants for Christmas.
O-rings, bro. But yeah, and then pull the injector out. If you find that one injector seems to make it run really bad, you pull that one injector out and you notice that like one of the O-rings is completely toasted and the cup didn't come with it or anything like that. Well, what I'd be doing? I'd be getting an O-ring kit for freaking $6, a Dorman one at O'Reilly's. Excuse me. Clean that bore out as best you can, slap that injector back in, and see if the problem got any better at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just know that like, okay, now you're on a clock, Chances are all the other injectors are probably going to have that same thing because if that one O-ring has failed, All the other O-rings are probably pretty close behind it.
Yeah.
But at least you've now got proof of concept, and it's not the cups.
Well, I will say, if he said he's got about $1,500 to spend,
Yeah.
okay, to fix this thing. You've already got a high mileage truck. It would behoove you to possibly invest in a good scan tool to do diagnosing
100%.
on your truck.
Yes.
Because that's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to save you money, especially if you have to end up taking it to a shop and have them do the diagnosing. That's
a really good point.
This is all still also thinking of, like, if it is just an ejector, it's going to cost you like less than $200 to fix.
Yeah.
It's well, you're in a scan tool for $400, if that. Like, what's the Auto Ingenuities now? Are they still under $400, or are they $399?
They're probably.
I think they're like $399.
We'll call it
$95. We'll call it $400. But you're in it less than $600.
Yeah.
And you have a scan tool that you could diagnose your truck even better in the future, especially if you want to use this for a side hustle. You're going to want to try to keep that thing on the road at all times.
Totally. No, that was a yes.
Yes.
Everything Tyler just said, yes. You should definitely invest in some sort of good diagnosing equipment.
Yeah, and learn how to use
100%.
it.
Learn how to use it. And don't be afraid to, and I mean this with every single joke aside, buy some O-rings, man. Shit's going to leak, okay?
You should put together like a Benz O-ring kit. Like, has all the O-rings for like the entire engine. Just O-rings, nothing else.
I've honestly kind of thought about it because I've gone through my little case that I have full of O-rings, and I have probably in multiples tons of different O-rings on there. Just because there is nothing worse than like being halfway into working on like replacing the turbo or something like that. You notice a fuel line's leaking.
You
And
need
it's
an
like,
O-ring.
I gotta go find that O-ring. Like, no, I've got tons of extras. We're good to go. Like,
I've been saving up O-rings for you, dude. I even have a stack of O-rings. You're gonna
Ain't
shit
tripping.
yourself.
So the Auto Ingenuity with the domestic bundle, $900.
Okay, what's just Ford though?
what's the Ford bundle?
Let's see.
It used to be $360. I'm pretty sure it's $399 now.
I'm pretty sure.
Are
it's
we talking
$399.
like the whole Ford expansion that just came out, the 03 to 21?
the Ford package?
$599.95.
Wow.
Okay, so it did
Okay,
go up.
$600. Still,
I mean, at that point, I'd probably just splurge for the domestic for any other vehicle I would have.
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
you can always add expansions later.
Yeah,
That's true.
But yeah, wow, those went up.
they did.
They must be much better than what they used to be.
We should probably find out why they went up.
No, I know they went to the wireless little like dongle.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why they call it a dongle,
I know.
but the dongle
It's
that
such a
plugs
stupid
in.
technical term,
Yeah.
but everybody uses it.
Yeah, I know they made it a lot easier because before they had to, it was a disc, and then people bought laptops that didn't have a disk drive.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
SP03.
No, this is all these changes probably happened after you started working here.
Ford bundle.
Or, I mean,
our-
before. Sorry, before.
Our podcast laptop doesn't have the CD drive.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
no new ones do.
I know.
You gotta buy that extra little bugger. I haven't bought a disc like for anything in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably longer than that.
Yeah, it sucks if you're like me, like
Do
you
they still
like a
sell
physical
CDs?
copy of like that's what I was gonna go on.
Yeah.
Like most stores, like you have to go to like an actual music store now.
To get CDs.
Yeah,
Wow.
So it's called the Mongoose now.
correct.
It's called the Mongoose.
Yeah, Auto Ingenuity PC Mongoose Scan Tool. 03. That's the
only-
03 to 21
yeah,
Ford
that's gonna be-
expansion. It's not
yeah,
going to
it's
cover
just
7.3s.
6 O's, yeah.
So he's got to go to the normal Ford bundle. The SP03
$399.95.
Ford bundle include what? Now it says discontinued. This is horse shit. I'm going to have to figure this out. Auto Ingenuity software only. Ford expansion. Okay, so the Ford expansion is still available. So we got to. I have to.
I think the base unit itself is like $299.
Yeah, so the software only is $200. And I'm sure there's some sort of. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that, and we're gonna.
Anyways, it's still a good idea.
Still a good idea to get some diagnostic tools on there, especially if you're gonna be keeping that truck for a long time. Especially as a 7.3 owner. If you're a 7.3 owner operator, you need to be able to diagnose everything. And trust me, once you get comfortable diagnosing 7.3 stuff, every other diesel engine, especially common rail, you'd be like,
It's easy.
It's so easy.
Yeah, 100%. I will agree with you on that.
Oh man.
So yeah, continuing on our diagnostic journey here.
Yeah, so at that point, I mean, if you pull the injector out and it does look toast, replace it as needed, or at least put some O-rings on it, knowing that you're probably going to be in there doing a set of injectors. If it's just a work truck, the best bang for the buck as far as stock replacement injectors, the full force stock injectors, you can get a set for like $10.99, $11.99.
Right around there. Yeah, right around there.
Close
Less
to-
than $1,200, we'll say.
For just stock output. If you want to get something a little bit bigger, and this is going to be used for a plow truck, I probably just get a set of 160s. Those are probably going to run you about $12.99 right in there. You are going to have to get custom single shot tuning. So if you haven't tuned the truck, then I honestly would just go to the stock. So if this is a work truck,
Yeah,
just keep it a stock
100%.
injector. I mean, it will be, especially for a plow truck, you're just...
Yeah, Mark used his 7.3 as a plow truck, and that thing rocked with stock injectors with that old Edge Evo tuner.
Yeah.
Was it Evo? Yeah, the handheld.
Yeah.
Looked like a Nintendo
In the
controller.
briefcase.
Yeah. 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 No, they're good. They're good plow trucks. Good and heavy. Straight axle. Good front
Leaf
end.
spring.
Leaf sprung. Yeah.
Like-
perfect plow truck.
Yeah. Everybody talks about, like, 'cause I feel like you tend to see a lot of, like, the early 2000s GM trucks as plow trucks, which I get.
Well, they're relatively cheap.
They're relatively cheap and they're a dime a dozen. They're
Yeah.
everywhere, and the parts are easy to fix, and they're robust.
Yeah.
But the biggest drawback there is the front suspension.
The whole front end.
The whole front end
Yeah.
is completely toast the entire time.
You've got
but-
18 joints for your steering system.
Yeah, just plan on
Shit
this thing
wears
being-
out.
Yeah, plan on never going over 30 miles an hour ever. But I mean, with a solid axle Ford truck, you get a brute on the front of that thing.
Yeah.
Like if it were me and today someone said, I need you to I need a ranch truck, or I need a truck that I'm gonna neglect and beat the living shit out of. This is for even if you're not a diesel guy. I would be looking for a 99 to 2004 F2 350 diesel or gas. I mean, preference on your preference at that point. I mean, shit, get a V10, get the get a 5.4 in it. I don't care if you just need something to be a ranch truck, because you can every single part on the front end of that truck can be absolutely shot
And still work. Yeah. I would even go as far, I mean, everybody knows I'm a Cummins guy through and through. As far as a plow truck, I would say a Ford.
Yeah.
They just can take it. They just can take it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do like a second gen Ram, you probably hit the first snow pile and your dash will fall in your lap.
I just saw control arm going. Dink.
Yeah, and then you hit it a second time, your whole front end whole steering kit bows out and you blow out a freaking ball joint. And then your 4-wheel drive actuator gets water in it and it freaking freezes up, and you got it's either stuck in 4-wheel drive or it's a 2-wheel drive.
Well, and then think about what a plow truck does: forward,
Yeah.
reverse, forward, reverse,
Oh
forward,
yeah,
reverse, and your 40
just
RE is like boom.
47 REs hating life at that point. It's just the only thing good going for them is second gens. They got a Dana 80 in the back.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah,
There's Dana
rear axle's
70s or Dana
good.
80, but hey, that front end freaking blows on those trucks. I'll be the first to say it. Engine's good though.
I mean, you'd look good and sound good doing it.
Yeah.
Sound great.
Yeah. just blowing out freaking second and third gear in that transmission. Just over revving. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just feeding at the R's.
Yeah.
I'm sure your neighborhood would love you too, because VP trucks are notoriously just the cleanest running trucks ever.
Yeah.
Especially low RPM,
Do you know
high
what someone
throttle.
told me the other day?
What?
That 7.3s are quieter than Cummins. It was Mark. And I'm like, Mark, no, they're not. He's
no.
like, dude, you're crazy, man. Those Cummins are so loud. I'm like, Mark, have you not drove your 7.3 in a while? Literally sounds like I filled a tin cup full of bolts and just shake them around.
I mean,
Like, you can't tell me that the Cummins is louder than
I would
the
have to assume he's
Powerstroke
comparing it to
7.3.
a straight pipe third gen.
I don't know what he was comparing
that
it
has
to.
got a-
He even said a first gen is loud. I'm like, a first gen hums like it's a freaking Rolex watch. Like those things just they're not loud whatsoever. Yeah, I was like, I'm not even gonna argue with you, dude. I'm not even gonna argue with you.
I think the only time that's true is going to be specifically on 3rd Gen 5.9.
Straight pipes
Straight
in the
pipes
R's.
in the R's, like 5-inch.
But it still sounds smooth
But it's real cackly. I think maybe he's
when you're in the R's.
or under a load at least.
Yeah, but if you're just like startup idle, like
Yeah.
you're telling me a 7.3 is quieter?
Oh, no
Get
way.
out of your mind.
Maybe like if you happen to find a 7.3 with stock exhaust.
Well, they're
and stock
quieter when they're
cab.
not running.
Yeah, totally.
So, I don't know. That was wild.
Yeah, but as a 7.3 guy, I'm gonna call bullshit.
Thank you.
Yeah,
There you
sorry
go,
on
Mark.
that one.
Golly. Have another drink.
Yeah. Well, let me know in the comments if you've ever seen a Cummins.
Like idle? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
No.
anyways.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But yeah,
My Lord, Ben. Get it together.
I just swallowed a golf ball snot.
But hey, we've got some so for you Powerstroke guys. I actually got we had some reviews of we had a couple new reviews. The two of them that really stand out to me are one guy asking for more 6.0 content and one guy asking for more 7.3 stuff. It's like, wow. Like, I'm just going to sit here in the back and not say anything. But for 6.0 guys, I don't know if you well, this will come out after that episode we called Life Motorsports, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to have him on the podcast.
Yeah, I gotta get Cole back on the phone, and we're gonna get some on the books here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his last. I can't remember his last name, but he owner operator of Life Motorsports, LYFE, and they do a lot of R35, Scott.
GTR stuff.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
A lot of those, and they put a 6.0 and wanted the attempt to do the Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to brief him on it because I'm like, just so you know, we're gonna grill you a little bit.
Well, we're just going to ask you what oiling problems that you ran.
we may
Anybody
take a
can read the
couple
article,
sheets,
but they ran into some oiling issues, which imagine that. My first, if you guys have any, this will be out before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions that you want us to ask them, we certainly will. Anything. But my first question is, how many GTR guys did you guys just brutally piss off? Because I'm sure like the GTR crew is like pretty, like GTRs only. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Even if you probably LS swapped one, they'd be like, fuck you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I would assume. I don't know if there's a certain type of car that because I know diesel guys are like that. When you start swapping things around and you don't stay true to it.
To a point. I think the Powerstroke guys swapping Cummins in, like they're cool.
Yeah.
But you start doing like a Duramax and a Ford, or like a Duramax and a Dodge.
Yeah.
Like that's when shit starts getting weird.
Yeah. Or Cummins into a GM platform.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's a little weird.
I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but
Yeah.
like the only acceptable diesel swap is a Cummins and a
I think it's
Powerstroke.
because at least when you make a Fummins, you're taking, the undoubtedly best part about a Cummins truck. It's the fucking name.
Yeah.
It's a Cummins engine. Again, 7.3 guy. I got respect for the inline 6 Cummins engines. Like I know.
You get it.
I get it. I
Yeah.
freaking get it. 100%.
Yeah.
And then you take probably the undoubtedly best part about Ford throughout the years: chassis,
Yeah.
body, interior.
Everything else. Transmission.
And we're not saying
Yeah.
7.3 suck.
Axles.
Yeah, but like if you were to take if 9 times out of 10, if you told someone, if you could, mash together whatever truck you want, I would be like, 5.9 and like a 6.7 Powerstroke, or 5.9 and a Superduty power.
Yeah.
It's always putting a Cummins engine into a platform,
Yeah.
specifically the Ford platform.
Yeah.
And so it's like the Cummins guys are like, yeah, we know our trucks suck, but the engine's tight.
Yeah.
And the Ford guys are like, yeah, our engines aren't always the best, but everything around the truck, like literally, you take the engine out,
Yeah.
like our cooling package is good, our motor mounts are good, the bell housing's good, the transmission's good,
Yeah.
everything literally around the engine is really good.
Yeah, the Duramax guys are just like, I love spring flowers. Long walks on the beach.
Someday I'll be a real man. Yes.
No, do you know what I was thinking about the other day? I was driving down the road. You know how like semi-truck platform, like you could get like a Kenworth and you could like pick your engine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I wish they did that with trucks. Like there was like this one we'll call it whatever truck. We'll call it the whatever truck.
Maybe the Atlas.
Not that thing.
Yeah.
But similar to what they're doing as far as with a platform, like they give you a body, the chassis, axles, like everything that's like rock solid, and it's like, okay, you can pick your engine, you pick your transmission, and these are all like interchangeable through its life. Like that would be so cool.
Yeah.
But that obviously is not going to happen because people have, manufacturers have contracts with these engines, blah 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 blah.
Right.
But like for an aftermarket guy, just be like, yeah, dude, I buy brand new, engines and transmissions, and I make wiring harnesses for them, and I build these trucks, and this is my truck body, and this is my chassis, and here it is. Like, if you think about it, like what, $100,000 truck? Well, guess what? They're already $100,000.
Really? It's true. Anyways, that's going to about wrap this one up, everybody. We greatly appreciate all you guys tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Yup. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at dieselpowerproducts.com.